Hi everyone, Jordan here. This is Art of the Prop, where we take an in-depth look at screen-used props, prop replicas, production material, collectibles, and more. Hey all you Jurassic Park fans, today we are taking an in-depth look at the iconic Visitor Center mural, first seen in 1993's Jurassic Park. Now, we recently collaborated with Paleoartist Douglas Henderson, the man behind it all, and we took a look at his concept art, his production material such as blueprints and notes from Stan Winston Studios and Amblin Entertainment, and we had the chance to archive those pieces. Among them were transparency scans of the original artwork. Now, Universal later reached out to Doug in 2014 when they were creating Jurassic World in the dilapidated visitor center. And they used those transparency scans to recreate the mural because unfortunately the original pieces have been lost to time or either reside in a private collection. So let's take a closer look at the evolution of the mural. The mural is first seen as Hammond leads Malcolm, Sattler, Grant, and Gennaro through the front entrance of the visitor center. It is wrapped around the back wall that separates the rotunda from the dining room. Consisting of 3 panels, the main middle portion showcases a velociraptor and several parasaurolophus. The lesser 2 scene panels show 2 brachiosaurs and a gallimimus. Looking over a production blueprint from the visitor center, we see that the paintings themselves were 8 feet tall, with the middle portion being 15.5 feet wide. It appears there were 6 plexiglass pieces that made up the middle, with smaller pieces making up the sides. The last time the general public saw these pieces was during 1994's Jurassic Park, The Exhibition. These pieces were destroyed or found their way into someone's private collection, diminishing the chances of seeing the artwork up close again until now.
I think it's because I wasn't doing very well with conventional jobs, and in my late 20s, I'd always enjoyed hiking, and in my late 20s, I took a hike down the Continental Divide from Jasper, BC, all the way down to Yellowstone, and ended up in Gardner, and decided to winter over and take up drawing. And I went at that for a few years, and it was a remarkably slow process because I wasn't really very talented at it, but I kept at it and figured out techniques that worked for me. And first off, was really interested in landscape, and I did lots of sketches outside. And I eventually moved to Bozeman, Montana, and by chance there was a budding paleontology community there, and I made my presence known. And I'd always been interested in dinosaurs. They would sort of walk into my drawings sometimes, but I found myself trying to do illustrations related to work the museum there was doing. And this turned into a children's book illustration job, which took a long time to finish. But in the meantime, as the work was getting done, I was showing it to other people just to let because I was interested in doing this kind of work, to let other people know what I might do. And I found other paleontologists who wanted illustrations. And then and from there, people saw what I was doing, and it just sort of grew some sort of odd connection with people all over the country.
So tell us how you were recruited for the first Jurassic Park film.
Part of the experience of being recognized for doing paleo art was that I crossed paths with Phil Tippett, and I did some things for him, just design work that was related to stop action, and he remembered me when he was, I think, a prime mover behind Jurassic Park and the technique for getting it done as a movie. And he remembered me, and he invited me to do, I think he sort of put a word in for me, and they hired me to do the an illustration for the mural that ultimately came to be reproduced larger for the mural scene in the movie. I did some simple designs and turned it into a pastel that wasn't very big, like I think at most 28 inches long, and then I sent a pastel to them along with transparencies, and it's all disappeared. So I have no idea where it's all gone. I just know that somehow the artwork I did was enlarged. Whether they did it from my transparencies or whether they had more resources to do something better there, I don't know.
Tell us about your involvement with the second film.
Well, by this time, I think everyone had decided they didn't need me anymore for anything, and all I did was I sold them a Stegosaur poster, and they framed it and put it on the wall above Hammond's bed, and that was the extent of my involvement with the sequel.
If you want one of these prints for yourself, head on over to DouglasHendersonEHI.com, where you can purchase prints of the artwork seen on this video and much more. Let's all support this amazing artist. Now, unfortunately, I don't have time to show all of the production pieces Doug allowed us to archive, but what I did want to show were the transparencies that were mentioned earlier. And again, Universal Amblin, they borrowed these from Doug around 2014 to reproduce the mural again for 2015's Jurassic World. Here are the pieces, and they're in protective plastic sleeves, so don't get upset for me not wearing gloves or anything like that. But here are the two brachiosaurs, and we'll kind of zoom in on that. And here is the middle piece with the raptor and the parasaurs, and of course the Gallimimus there. So just amazing pieces of film history there. And I think it's important to mention that Doug also painted these from the perspective that you would see from the dining room. So actually, when the team enters the rotunda and you see the mural from the rotunda, you're getting a reverse look at the original angle that Doug had painted them in. So I hope you guys tune in for the next episode. We are going to go over original production blueprints of iconic buildings from the first film, including the Visitor Center. So you do not want to miss that. So thank you guys for joining us. Huge thank you to Douglas Henderson for allowing us to interview you and to preserve your artwork for future generations to enjoy. Thank you, Doug, once again, and we'll see you next time.